Hello everyone, it is me, Butterfly Spirit, aka Michelle, and this is A1 Your Hero, and we're going to talk about a very serious, something that was very serious that happened to me and that, really negatively affected us or whatever. And it was an experience that it was an experience that basically was very disheartening. I'm going to say in this video, I'm going to be sharing some pictures that will be graphic. Um, so that means blood and different stuff. And because I really want to drive home this point to people to tell them something about, their religion, Christianity, to tell them the truth about it, and something that I saw right in the face that I experienced for hours on end. Um, so that people know, and a lot of people probably don't know this. A lot of friends and family don't know this, that I went through what I went through. I only told certain people in my family. So I want to start off by saying I'm not a Christian. If you want to, stop the video or whatever, unfriend me, whatever, do what you're going to do. I understand, if you want to hold on to a religion and stuff, that's fine. But what I do want to share is my experience about why I'm glad that I'm not a Christian and stuff, because I can't subscribe to the things that they say. But I'll go ahead and tell you guys what happened. So November 2000 and it's like 2017, last year actually. So it was a couple of days before Thanksgiving, and I found out that I was pregnant. And Anwan and I, we basically we thought about the reality of me being pregnant and stuff like that. And we know that the two of us live together. No, we're not married. But we're grown folks. We're over 21. So actually, we're over 25 too. So
Yeah.
we're grown. So I found out I was pregnant. Yes, that means that I had sex, but I'm grown. I'm not a teenager and a 16-year-old girl or nothing like that. So, I'm a grown adult,
Past drinking age.
Yeah, I was a virgin for a longer time than what a lot of people I went to school with would have been. I didn't lose my virginity until I was like, what was it, 20? I think I was like 20 probably when I lost my virginity, 20, 21 maybe, when I lost my virginity.
I was 22.
Yeah, so I was 20. So that's when I lost my virginity, when I was 20. But what I'm talking about happened in 2017. So a few days before Thanksgiving, I found out I was pregnant, that I was expecting a baby. And how we found out is that Anwan had asked me, he said, well, you haven't had your period in a while. And I said, well, you're right, I haven't had my period. But I'm like, I can't be pregnant. That's not possible. I can't be pregnant. I'm not eating a lot. I'm not doing any of that stuff that they would say, you're doing during pregnancy. So what happened is that I finally decided to go get a pregnancy test. You know what I'm saying? After, a couple weeks of him talking about the same thing about, that I could be pregnant and stuff, and him being nervous and everything about it. So, took the pregnancy test, and there was two pregnancy tests we got. We got one from Walmart, and we got another one from Dollar Tree. Now, me, I think, my thoughts are is that a pregnancy test from Dollar Tree ain't gonna do nothing. So I'm thinking you gotta spend like $7 to $10 for a pregnancy test for that thing to work.
Like
you know
first response, but first response failed, and we used the vaginal contraceptive film. But if you're dry, or if you're not very lubricated there, it may not work, and it didn't work. So pull out when you do use the vaginal contraceptive film.
So what happened is that I took two tests. I took the first response, like everyone said, the one from Walmart, which was like $6-7, and then I took the one from Dollar Tree. And I took two tests because I wanted to be absolutely sure. So took the test, and what you do, you pee on the stick or whatever. Or what I do is I like put I kind of follow instructions, and I put the pregnancy test in the urine and then take it out and set it on the counter. And I did the same thing for both of them since they said you could do that. And one of the tests was one of the tests said that I was pregnant, and the other one was kind of inconclusive, like it wasn't sure. So that kind of bothered me. I was like, what the heck? What's going on? And so now here's what I want to back up and tell y'all. I had took a pregnancy test, I think, a couple weeks prior. Okay, maybe let's say 3 weeks prior. Took a pregnancy test 3 weeks prior, and it said I was not pregnant.
That was the first response pregnancy test, by the way.
And then that was the first one. But then, like, the second time I used 2 of them. So I think I used the first response again and then used the one from Dollar Tree. So first one said I wasn't pregnant. Then the other 2, some weeks down the road, said that I was pregnant. And stuff like that.
That wasn't the first response. The first response pregnancy test, that was the one you used the first time. The other 2 was different.
Oh.
One was like an Equate.
Yeah.
And then the other one was the Dollar Tree one.
Oh. So, what happened was that first time used first response was found I wasn't pregnant. And then this some weeks down the road took the Equate and then the Dollar Tree test or whatever. And then those, one said I was pregnant, the Dollar Tree test said I was. The Equate said that it was kind of inconclusive because the line was kind of light and everything else. So I wasn't sure what was going on. Pregnancy tests, they can be wrong, So, I took the test and everything. Now, I will give you some background on what was happening during this time. Okay, I'll say what happened after. So, found out that I was working this, temporary job. It only lasts like a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? But it gave me some money out of my pocket. So, the first day I worked, and then I came home and took the 2 tests, okay? And then found out I was pregnant. Now, the second day I went to the job, I knew that I was pregnant, from based off what the test said. But I was denying the hell out of it. I was like, nah, I'm not going to believe these tests. I can't be pregnant, whatever. And also because we used birth control. We used a contraceptive film called VCF, and we used it. We've used it several times.
You got to wait 15 minutes before you do anything. You got to put it all the way up to the cervix. And then wait 15 minutes, and then you can do whatever. So,
what happened was that we did use birth control, the contraceptive film. We used it several times. Never got pregnant from it. But this time around, I guess the birth control failed. So it's not like we were just sleeping together with nothing. We actually had something that we were using, but the birth control failed because, let's see, what was it? Found out that from the test I was pregnant from 2 tests. And then, so I went to work the second day knowing that I was pregnant. So on the second day, what happened was I had this, I thought the job was okay. I thought I was going to get a chance to keep it for a while, temporary job and stuff. I thought if I did everything right, did good, showed up, dressed professional, did the, clerical work, the data entry stuff, everything's going to work out, right? So, the first day I went to work for, this pharmaceutical company as a temp, people was real nice and everything. Even the guy who was supposed to be the manager, also doing work for him, especially for him, he was okay. He didn't tell me nothing about what I was supposed to be doing. He just said, oh, just get this done or whatever. Like he's just giving me time to do it. Okay, day 2, I get to work. I know I'm pregnant. So what happened is I'm working on a spreadsheet. And then the manager comes to me. It's a white guy, mind you, and he says, well, are you going to get, how far have you gotten? Are you going to be able to get done by the day or whatever? And this guy is basically like fucking browbeating me, sitting here, basically he's, being abusive, like, to me and stuff like that. And he never told me how far he wanted me to get to, in the spreadsheet. He never started off when I first got there the day before. He never did that. But now he's up here going off on me and everything else, where all these people, other people can hear him, and stuff. And I'm sitting here getting all scared and everything. And here I am. And I'm pregnant, mind you. So I'm getting stressed from this, from hearing this guy say this stuff. So I'm just going through the day trying to do my best, right? So, it didn't feel good. So I went to lunch, and I was, worried that he was going to walk in and say something during lunch. And I was sitting there watching the door and eating and everything, worried he was going to come in during lunch and stuff and say something. to me and everything and stuff. And I ate my lunch. The guy didn't come into the lunchroom, but there was other people in the lunchroom. So, what happened was is that I went, the guy went off on me before lunch, and then, the manager did, white manager did. And then when I came back from lunch, what I did was I went and I spoke to a lady that was a secretary, this black chick. And I told her about what happened, and she's like, well, he's that way. Well, I didn't know he was that way. She's like, well, he is difficult. He does expect things a certain way or whatever. That's really kind of how he is and stuff. And I was like, well, that's not cool, you know. And she said, well, why don't you go talk to the person in HR, what I'm saying, who had you come here to work on his stuff. So I went to this black lady in HR, told her about what he did and what he said and how he never gave me any parameters for what I was supposed to do. So, any guidelines, anything, just told me to work on the stuff, first copying stuff, then work on the spreadsheet, right? And I knew, that spreadsheet would take a week, but he expected somebody to do it in 2 days, you know what I'm saying? And I knew it was unfair. So I told the black lady in HR, I told her about what happened. And I told her everything, and then she said, okay, I'm going to talk to him. So here's what happened. What she did is that she told me to go and sit at the desk and keep working on stuff. So she got in contact with him, had him come and sit down and talk. And I didn't see him talking, but what happened is that she came to me and she said, before I left sitting, like talking to her, she said, well, I'll tell you what the update is or whatever, because we bring temps here so that they can feel comfortable working and stuff. Nobody's supposed to be abused or anything like that, so I talked to her. So she came to me later on that day. And she said, well, okay, we're going to have you in today or whatever. It's about 2 o'clock. Okay, we're going to have you leave for the day. I'm going to escort you out the building or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We're going to end it because, he doesn't want you to continue working or whatever and stuff like that or whatever. And she's escorting me out the building. So what I assumed was that he threatened me in some way, which is why she was there with me, walking me out of the building. You know what I'm saying? And, I don't know what he said. I really don't know, but I didn't see him after that. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine what he said, but this is a guy who's a white manager. So, he feels like he can say whatever the fuck he wants to say. And, you know what I'm saying? He ain't got to listen to nobody. He's particular about this and that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will tell you, this guy did mess up, though, because the first day that I was there, he left early. He didn't even tell me he was leaving. And I was just supposed to work on this stuff, and I went looking around for him the first day, trying to figure out how far I'm supposed to go with this stuff, and it was just about before I went home, about 4:45 or whatever, and this guy was gone. He was gone because he got called home because of a family issue or whatever, but he never told me nothing. If you're my supervisor, you know what I'm saying, you're supposed to tell me something, but he left early. You know what I'm saying? But he gonna get on my case about that, but then, you know what I'm saying, about how I'm not doing something, but he didn't tell me shit. You know what I'm saying? So I had to call the staffing agency, tell them what happened. Say, well, this is a situation or whatever. So the staffing agency had to call the people back, see what happened or whatever, investigate it, right? So they said, okay, we'll find something else, right? So, now, yes, I was still pregnant at this time, So day 2, walked out, you know what I'm saying, made a good effort, tried to do everything I could because I thought it was going to work, But didn't turn out. So, what I wanted to do, since I took the test, I wanted to get clarification, find out I was really pregnant. So, since I left early that day, then me and N1, we went to the hospital. And, they, I had to wait a long time at the hospital, like you got to do, But this went faster this particular time, I guess, you know what I'm saying, or whatever.
The stress from the tire blown out.
But I'm going to get to that, though. It's not at that point, though.
Oh, my bad.
But, so, what happened is that, so we went to the hospital, and we were sitting in this room. And, it's like, hospital room. Like one of the small ones and stuff. They don't have a bed or anything. It's just like cut a couple of chairs and a board and everything on there and stuff. This nurse comes in and says, well, this is the happiest room I've ever been in. And, I took a pee test, right? And so what she said is that she's like, well, you are pregnant. You're very early along, And I asked her, well, how far along am I? And she said, well, you're about 5 weeks pregnant. You're barely pregnant. I'm like, how are you barely pregnant? You're either pregnant or you're not. you know. But she's like, you know, all happy about me being pregnant. Me and Anwan, we were just distressed because we knew we couldn't have a baby. Not in our situation. You know what I'm saying? With the way jobs are for us and stuff like that, you know, they can be there. Like I told you about this one job. I got let go from this assignment, you know what I'm saying? And I was pregnant. Okay. So, was confirmed I was pregnant. The lady was trying to make it all happy and everything. Oh, you know, you're pregnant and stuff. Me and Anwan, we sitting there like this.
Do we look happy to you?
Yeah, but then she says, yeah, we was like this. And she was like, oh, this is the happiest we might have been in. I'm like, lady, you fucking lying. Like, we not happy. We thinking about the future of the child. Because we see stuff that's happening to black men, women, children. You know what I'm saying? Think about for the case of Trayvon Martin. Think about what happened to that boy who got killed for playing with a little toy gun in Ohio. He got killed by the police, right? Trayvon Martin. He got shot by somebody or whatever because he was wearing a hoodie. Okay? Think about all these cases where you see as black people, unarmed black people getting killed.
What about these women that's pregnant getting tased in the stomach and losing their babies? And what about the black women that was getting tased everywhere by the police in their stomach, you know, losing babies and stuff like that? You know, what about all the school shootings going around where it's killing all these black kids? You know?
Yeah, I mean, so we were thinking about all this stuff that was going on, and a lot of people going to say, oh, well, y'all should just go ahead and have a baby anyway, and, you know what I'm saying, just hope for the best. And that's what, you know, people would think. They would think, oh, you're just going to have a baby, and God's going to make a way, and this and other. Well, I'll get to I'll get there, okay? So, here's what happened. So, it ended up where I went a week without having any employment and stuff, and Thanksgiving, I celebrated Thanksgiving. And I didn't tell anybody in my family that I was pregnant. I didn't say anything at all. You know, I was just me. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people said, why didn't you tell me it's pregnant? Because I'm like, well, you know, I didn't feel comfortable saying anything like that. You know, I knew people has these certain beliefs or thoughts or whatever, you know what I'm saying, about me being pregnant and stuff. And they'll say something because I'm not married. So they go want me to hurry up and get married because, you know, because I have a baby, you know, in my stomach or something like that or whatever. You know, that's for me and stuff. They want to hurry up and push me down the aisle and stuff like that because I'm pregnant and stuff and they're going to want me to do this stuff. Well, I'm not a Christian, so I don't do that, you know.
There
Personally,
goes your
I don't.
support. You can't even have support. You can't even have support with... See, religion is terrible because you can't even have support when you need it.
So,
you can't even go to people.
So, what happened was is that, yeah, I did celebrate Thanksgiving, ate with my family and stuff. Nobody knew I was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? We knew, but they didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And we were trying to figure out what we were going to do. Now, we are people who we think that it's okay and it is justified for a woman to have an abortion if she wants to. Because not everybody is going to have the means to support kids. I will tell you this statistic that I just read a couple of days ago. So, it was this article about what happens every 60 seconds, okay? And in this article, they had a picture about a baby and it was next to a clock, right? For 60 seconds and that baby next to it. It said every minute there are 300,000 babies born. And what it said, the crazy thing about the statistic was it went into detail and it said of those 300,000, 250,000 babies are born into poverty. So 50,000 are born in situations where the parents can afford them and everything, and 250,000, so that's what the hell is that, 80%. 80% of these babies are born into poverty. Poverty means that you can't keep the lights on, the gas on, you can't have no internet, you can't afford to keep gas in your car, you ain't got enough food, right? It means that you're trying to do the best you can, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to move up, but you can't, okay? This is what that means, all right? So, I mean, and to think that these babies are had in poverty, to me, means 250,000 babies had in poverty means that the parents obviously don't give a damn. The women don't, neither do the men. They just had a baby any damn way. You know, and maybe they do it because they hear from church, oh, baby's a blessing. That's what they hear, okay? So, let's keep on going. So, after we leave in the hospital, found out I was pregnant, you know, the job went out. So, I had to wait a week or so. And then the staffing agency came back to me with a job. So it was supposed to be a job at this bank. That's in, not a bank, credit union. This is St. Louis. And so I started the person that was at the staffing agency said, well, we know this would be great for you and stuff. Now, me, I was going back and forth in my mind, and talking to N1 about the fact that starting this job, and I knew that this job was not going to turn out. I just had this feeling inside that I knew that it was not going to turn out. It was not the best thing, because I had scheduled a doctor's appointment because I was pregnant, and I scheduled it at Planned Parenthood because, at the hospital, they didn't give me an ultrasound. So I wanted to, see the baby and everything else, right? And so I scheduled this appointment. Now, by the time the staffing agency got back to me with this job at this credit union, I'd already set up this doctor's appointment. And I was hell bent on going because I'm like, well, I got to think about the life of my child and, its longevity and stuff. That's what I got to think about. You know what I'm saying? Bringing a child into this world. Bringing a child into this world means that you think about the situation that baby is going to come into. So you make sure they got enough food, enough clothes. The utilities are always going to be paid. The child's going to have toys. They're going to have everything. And you got to remember, you're going to be raising a child from the time they're born all the way up to 18 or 21 years or however long they're going to live with you. You know what I'm saying? There's no guarantee that the world's going to be a great place by the time the baby gets grown. You know what I'm saying? So what happened was that they found me this job, and I told them, I said, I told the lady, I said, well, I got this doctor's appointment on Monday. And I said, well, you think they're going to be okay with me missing that Monday and stuff like that or whatever. Because she said she wanted me to come in Friday for the first day of training, And I said, well, second day on Monday, I won't be able to be there. Is that okay? The lady staffing agency told me, she said, oh, yeah, that's fine. That's okay. We'll talk to him about it, arrange something. So I said, okay, I'll go ahead and start the job. And I'm starting the job because we need to keep things going in our apartment. We need to keep the lights on. Got to keep the gas on. Got to keep the internet on, right? We got to keep supporting ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because we live on our own. We ain't living with no parents. You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep ourselves being independent. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? So I accepted the job, and N1, he works, by the way, too. And so happen is I go to the first day of training on a Friday. And then what happens is that went there, and I'll tell you, that first day of training, I knew I was pregnant. I knew I was pregnant because the fruit that I had like a couple of oranges, I had an apple and stuff, and stuff. And man, when I got there, I ate through that. Do you know what I'm saying? While I was just the beginning of it. Lunchtime came, and basically like while I was in training, I was fine at first, but then I started getting sick and queasy because I'm pregnant. So I guess, the baby that's forming or is forming, so because of it, it is eating the food and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I knew I was pregnant, but I was feeling sick. So, come lunchtime, I had to ask for like a aspirin or something from somebody in the class, you know what I'm saying, from a lady, And I'll tell you, the women in this class, all of the women that were in training, they all had kids, and they were all talking happy about their kids and stuff, but I was the only person who didn't have a kid. I was pregnant, but I ain't had no kid running around, you know what I'm saying? So, you might ask, how far was I? I was probably 6 weeks, 6 or 7 weeks. Yeah, it's about 6 weeks is where I was at, because I was starting to feel that I was pregnant and stuff or whatever and getting sick and stuff. So, yeah, I had some, I would say that it was like aspirin. I'm going to take ibuprofen for stuff, if I don't feel well. So what happened was that lunchtime came, took the ibuprofen, made it through the rest of the day, you know what I'm saying, at the job and stuff, at the credit union. And so I told the lady that was training the class, what I told her was, I said, hey, I'm not going to be able to be here on Monday when I was leaving. I said, I ain't going to be able to be here because I got a doctor's appointment and stuff. And I'm not going to be able to be here. And she's like, oh, okay, well, can you come after? I said, yeah, I will try to do that. Now, thing about is at Planned Parenthood, I've been there before. And with appointments, it can take all day for you to be seen. So I told the lady, I said, I'll try to come after, but I can't guarantee I'll be back. You know what I'm saying? But she's like, oh, okay, well, just keep me posted. That's what she said, right? All right, so Monday came, and I went, me and N1, we went to Planned Parenthood and stuff. I went through my appointment, They were consulting me about pregnancy and stuff or whatever, and this took like forever. I'll tell you, it took forever. Then I got to do the ultrasound and stuff. There was a whole bunch of people at the Planned Parenthood, and stuff. And so I waited a long time. Now some people gonna say, "Why'd you go to Planned Parenthood? Why would you do that? They do abortions and stuff." Well, I think it's justified for a woman to have an abortion if she wants to. She's not. It's not something where she has to have a baby. The woman controls whether or not she has the baby.
People also go to Planned Parenthood to get birth control options, to get vasectomies, and they also
screenings.
Cancer screenings. Like that's very fucking important.
Yeah, so for people who can.
And at least it's faster than a motherfucking hospital waiting, God Lord, 6 hours.
Yeah, or 8 hours. And one's at the point with the hospital where he counts the people, and that's how many hours it's gonna take for us to be seen. So he would know because he got injured on a job that he had, and it was something where it was the employer's fault that the injury happened to him. And, they picked him up in the ambulance, he went to the hospital, and he got out the ambulance. You know what they did? Even though he got injured, you know what they did? They took him out of the ambulance and stuck him right in the ER waiting room. And he just had to wait. Like it wasn't a tragic thing or whatever going on and stuff. And it's supposed to be, workman's comp, right? Because he got injured. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to go much into that because, things still developing from that. Still, trying to figure things out from that, legally. So he would know about waiting. I know about waiting in the hospital. There's been times I've been sick and I've had to wait a long ass time in the hospital. That's a problem. You got to wait hours. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'll tell you more about that. So, trying to think where I was. So, Planned Parenthood. So, got to see the ultrasound. I wanted N1 to be there because he, is the father's child, that's forming. So, he deserves to be able to see the ultrasound of the baby. You know what I'm saying? Lady had to look around and stuff, but she finally found it. And it said that, I was like, I think it was like 7 weeks pregnant or something like that. That's what it said. And so, he got to see the ultrasound. I saw it and stuff. It was too young to hear the heartbeat. Okay, so at least I had got the picture. And so, what happened was that after that, I came back to. I was supposed to be going to work on Tuesday. Here's what happened to me on Tuesday after, after the Planned Parenthood, doctor visits and stuff, and they went through. So, what happened was that Tuesday I was getting up, I got all dressed to go to the second day of training. I'm saying it's to be third day of training, and I went outside, and I realized that I didn't have any gas in the car, so I went to go and do that. Since I was running early, and I'd be able to get there. But I had to stop at the gas station. So I go, get in the car, drive, and the gas station is maybe 5 minutes away. So I go and drive there, and then I decide to go down this hill street or whatever that you keep going, and the gas station's right there. So on my way doing that, what happens is that my tire blew out.